And I think he will take very seriously with the government of Pakistan, with the agencies, and let tourists come to Pakistan. And I am requesting to government of Pakistan, don't help me, just let me promote. Don't put error in front of me. And if they just cooperate with us, you will see, inshallah, we are going to organize the World Cup, Paragliding World Cup soon in Pakistan. Thank you.
Shah Sahab, just one very quick question. Our terrain and atmospheric conditions are very conducive for hot air balloon. What is the potential and how can we harness that?
So, first of all, the people usually confused, which I have seen the presentation today from the gentleman from the Kashmir. He was in his presentation about hot air balloon. Hot air balloon you cannot control by yourself. It is right on the wind. And that sports is for the open area like the desert. Especially we have beautiful area, Cholistan, which you can do the hot air balloon safari. Even in the Punjab area, like Rohtas Fort, you can cross over the Rohtas Fort, but you cannot take it in high mountains because you need the open area and ride on the wind. We have done in 2000 to try to cross the K2, but unfortunately because of the wrong wind we could not do that. And the 2001 we have done Nanga Parbat, and we took off from Chilas, and when we reached on the top of Nanga Parbat, and we changed to the Indian side, and we have done the very hard landing just on the air border line, and then the India started firing on us, but thanks God we were safe.
Pointed. Thank you very much. Shahid Nadeem Sahab, you are instrumental in promoting winter sports for over a decade, I would say. What opportunities, challenges do you foresee? Would you like to comment? And I think you have a PowerPoint to support your argument. If Control, if you can please run his PowerPoint.
First, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. First of all, I would like to thank Rana Sahib to give me this opportunity to run a PowerPoint presentation, because this was not supposed to be a PowerPoint presentation. So I think as Shah Sahib has said, that the actions speak louder than the words. So I wanted to show you something, whatever the Federation is doing and whatever we have achieved in the last few years. And secondly, he also said that Pakistan is a land of four seasons. So when you say the four season, but if you look at the tourism industry, it is working during summertime only. So we are trying to promote some activities which are related to this winter, because mostly the people are traveling from northern areas to down country because of the extreme weathers in that area. So we are trying to take the youth out during this time and then attract people from the south to come and visit the northern areas during winter time. So this is the scheme of the presentation as flashed, and I have to run through because it's a long presentation, but I have been given less time.
The 42 slides are only...
No, there are pictures, so I'll just run through fast. Next please. So winter tourism history I will skip because there is no time. So winter actually started, winter sports and the tourism started from Europe, and then in subcontinent we have a lot of places, there is no time to explain, where the Britishers started to do this winter activities. And as far as the mountain potential is concerned, so that is needless to explain because there are a lot many people who have already explained that what potential we have. We have three big mountain ranges, that is Hindu Kush, Karakoram and the Great Himalaya. Next. And these are some of the peaks above 6,000 meters. There are 720 peaks, so we have a lot of peaks available here where we can have hold these winter sports activities. Next please. And then we have some of the world's longest glacier outside the polar region. So there is another potential from where you can attract a lot of foreign and local tourists. Next. So measures to attract winter tourism, there are certain measures, and this is going to be done through the activities which we are carrying out in the north. So snow marathon is one of the activities where there are lot many people, and this community wants to come to Pakistan to participate in this type of activities. And this is very rare, and this was done in Malum Jabba, and that was the only one which has been done so far because of certain reason. And then there's the highest road marathon, which was next please, which was conducted during 28 September 2019 at Khunjerab Pass, and we have intention to introduce the snow marathon at the highest place at Khunjerab Pass. And along with the snow marathon, along with the snow marathon, we intend to hold ice. Next, please. पीछे जाए. So these are the adventure shows, some of the adventure shows which are actually happening in Pakistan. It is not that we are not conducting this, but there are a lot many people who have no idea about that this is happening in Pakistan. Next. Alpine ski, this is a Naltar ski resort, which is like international ski resort where you have all sort of high-end equipment and technology. And we are holding International Ski Federation races here in Naltar and Malum Jabba. Next. Heli skiing, a couple of times the heli skiing is done in Skardu area and in Kalgan area, and unfortunately because of the expensive, there are not private helicopters available, and it is very expensive to hire a helicopter, as Simon Moro has already pointed out. So if we have this facility available, there are plenty of opportunities to go for the heli skiing in Pakistan. Next. This is a new sport which is picking up, especially amongst the youth, and there are not many people who are taking up this snowboarding apart from the alpine skiing. And we had an international competition where the people from the Chamonix, they were here to participate in the snowboarding competitions. This is a lady who's training abroad in UK, and she's from Pakistan, and she is potential participant to the 2026 Winter Olympics, which is going to be held in Italy. Next please. So speed skating is also, we are conducting these activities regularly in northern areas, in GB and in Chitral and AJK. Next. So this was the first rink which was made in Naltar way back in 2018 and 19. So आप देखेंगे वो wooden planks लगे हुए हैं जिनके through ये बनाया गया था. Now if you go, we have an international standard ice rink, outdoor ice rink at Naltar, and curling rink. And these are some of the rinks in different parts of the GB during the winter time. Next. ये सारे भी Skardu में, you can see on to the right, and the other side is also Skardu. Again Skardu. This is Gulkin, the first. One of our team, they also participated and won the trophy in Singapore. So this is world highest rink, which is at 1691 in Kazakhstan. Next please. So Khunjerab Pass, we intend to hold an ice sports competition this winter, inshallah. And the height is 4693 meters. This is going to be the highest ice rink and ice competition anywhere in the world. So this is the biathlon, which is another sport which is getting popular in Pakistan north. Next. Curling, we had a foreign trainer from Canada, and she gave the training for the curling in different parts, starting from Chitral, GB and AJK. This is AJK. Next. This is a curling team from AJK, and we have already qualified, and we are the member of Pakistan Curling Federation, World Curling Federation. So this was the first race which was held in Malum Jabba, and with all the foreign participants. Next. So Nazir Sabar has also explained, and I don't want to get into it, because now during the winter time there are not many people who are coming to climb these mountains, and this trend is increasing. So there are certain festivals which are being held regularly and 7 days in GB is one of the festival. And you know, we started this with a very noble cause. The Winter Sport Federation started all this, and now there are people who are taking control of this. Like the FCNA wants to have to conduct this, and they are sponsoring this also. GB government also want to hold this competition regularly. And there is next please. And there is another place which was discovered about 4 years ago, and now it has become a regular feature. We are holding a regular winter sports festival at the Ganga Choti, and it is becoming a very attractive tourist destination during the winter time. So these are the few areas along the CPAC route where you can find. Click करें. These are the two CPAC routes starting from China to down below to Karachi, and there is another one which is coming from Probal to Islamabad and to Karachi. So there are plenty of places we have a potential to build ski resort in these areas. Click करें. One more click. So starting from Chukursun, ये बतूरा में ये सब जगह पे we are holding activities during the winter time. So these are the potential areas जहाँ पे you can build the winter sport. Next, few other areas in Swat and Chitral. Next, Kagan, Naran, Shogran. Next. So these are some of the initiatives by the government of Pakistan, which are good initiatives. Top priority by government tourism sector, formulation of the new tourism policy, establishment of the SIFC, which are looking after the tourism also, and involvement of establishment in tourism and that the product as green tourism company. So I think the NOC problem and other problems are going to be resolved because these guys are themselves involved, and so things will get probably smooth in due course of time. Next. So these are some of the challenges we have already talked about, so I'll be skipping these, and then at the end some recommendations. Next. Adventure sport may be promoted to attract winter tourism in mountains. SAFC may take a lead in systematically promoting and developing winter adventure sports and tourism in Pakistan. And SAFC may plan in developing necessary infrastructure because we lack a lot of infrastructure required for the ice sports and the other sports. So that infrastructure, if can be provided, there are not many because in all 10 districts of GB, there are people who are making rink at their own and they are conducting these. And we need to do something. I don't know, KP tourism secretary was here. So we need to do something for the Chitral also because we are looking at Shandur that like in summer we have polo matches in Shandur. So we should have ice hockey matches at the Shandur. So I hope if somebody from KP is here, so we need
I will
to
request for a written script of these
Alright.
recommendations, and we will put in our post-event report.
जी next please. Next. Display कर देंगे वो सारे. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, due to shortage of time, we will ask two participants for questions, and the only condition is that two people who haven't asked question earlier, they are welcome. Yes, please.
Honorable Chief Guest, Rana Mashood Saab is back once again with us, and we have had quite a lot of discussion and deliberation in these 2 days. In all these sessions, we had a very good debate almost on all the aspects of tourism industry in terms of potential, in terms of challenges, and in terms of way forward as well. As I mentioned in my opening presentation, tourism is a kind of a very challenging industry, and it is an industry which is not easy anywhere in the world. It's very difficult because lots of different stakeholders work together to create the tourism product. And in Pakistan environment, it is much more challenging than any other country because the dynamics which we have in Pakistan, which affects the working of any sector, and especially for a tourism sector, it is beyond the control of maybe most of us also. But in spite of that, we need to work together. As I mentioned, the role of stakeholders is very important. That was the purpose of this meeting, to bring all the stakeholders together. And some of the stakeholders you mentioned are not here. We invited even all those stakeholders also in these meetings, but they were not here. So you can understand that this is also a challenge to bring even all the stakeholders together. But this doesn't mean that we stop our efforts. We need to continue the process of dialogue. It is important to continue the process of dialogue and keep knocking the doors. Ultimately, you'll find that the door is open. So this is a kind of a process which we have tried to generate it through this National Tourism Symposium. Almost after the interval of, I think, 20 years. The last convention was held 20 years back. And this is the big achievement for all of you, that all of you are together once again. And I can assure, as the head of the National Tourism Board, that this is not the first and last meeting. We need to continue the tradition of this dialogue by holding this symposium regularly, annually, beside other events which we are organizing on World Tourism Day or Mountain Day, and that, but because this is important. And what I also feel that from next year, like the minister we have, who is very motivated to work with us and who can become the bridge in between us and the chief decision makers at the government level. So using his good office, we'll try to convey the deliberation of this symposium to the Prime Minister and try to get his buy-in on the key aspects which need immediate attention from the government. And some of the key aspects, there's so many recommendations I've been continuously writing in all these 2 days, and ultimately we'll formalize the report. But I think few of the points which I would like to highlight in the presence of the Minister Sir. So the most important recommendation from all of us, from the international and national delegate, is the revival of the Ministry of Tourism at federal level. I think all of you want that. There's a strong ministry at the federal level. It will not affect the working of the provincial department, because they will continue to do their work as it is, because the mandate to improve and develop infrastructure and facilities in the provinces as they're doing will remain the business. But the gap at the federal level, which is there right now, need to be bridged by a strong ministry at the federal level, the presence of minister. There's a lady sitting beside you representing the World Tourism Organization at UN level, and she's keen to invite the Minister of Pakistan to the Executive Committee meeting and other high forums of UNWTO. And absence of minister in Pakistan is maybe shocking for them. There's no minister at the federal level. But again, beside that, we are working. Tourism is going on. But I hope you will take that message and convey to the Prime Minister that we need to revive the ministry, and a strong ministry with a full budget, with the full support of federal government. And secondly, the most important aspect which have been highlighted is the visa regime. In having a good foreign tourism activity in Pakistan, we need to seriously review the visa regime of Pakistan. There are bottlenecks, there are gaps, and due to that, people face difficulty in getting Pakistani visa. And I think that if that is a just policy decision, I mean, this kind of decision do not require any funding. It's just a policy decision, okay, we open up. And there's quite a lot of openness at the global level right now in the visa policies, as I've seen the reports of WTO. Most of the countries have softened their visa regime quite a lot after the COVID-19. So at least we need to adopt a kind of a visa-free entry, maybe for 30 friendly countries. For a 30 days time, they need to be given visa-free entry to Pakistan. This will immediately increase the number of foreign tourists to Pakistan. Because there's a lot of hurdle in the present, although we have the online system, but this online system is also having quite a lot of problem. We need to look seriously into that. The third point, which has been highlighted very seriously by most of the stakeholders, is the NOC, no objection certificate. Once tourists are coming to Pakistan, they need not to get any kind of no objection certificate from any agency. If you have given a tourist visa to a person, then there's no question to ask where you want to go in Pakistan. Because you have invited, by giving visa, you have invited that person to Pakistan. If you are asking here and there, NOC, so they will feel what kind of a country this is. So that we need to put in front of the agencies and the high-ups that we need to remove this NOC culture in Pakistan. Obviously, we need a lot of investments, as we have highlighted in these 2 days, in improving the infrastructure and facilities of tourism in Pakistan. And for that, we need to create enabling environment for the private sector. This is the most strongest recommendation. Unless government of Pakistan create enabling environment where private sector come forward and sit on the driving seat, we may not be able to bridge this gap. Because government has difficulties in arranging fundings for the developments and infrastructures and all that. But it's just a policy decision. Okay, government of Pakistan will give incentives in terms of land provision, in terms of tax rebates, in terms of duty-free import of stuff. We do not have quality transport. We may reduce the duty on the tourist vehicle altogether so that we have a quality transport infrastructure available in Pakistan. So that kind of steps we need to take to improve the more and more investment from the people who are interested to invest in the sector. Moreover, we need to convince our government, because lots of financial resources are required to develop and promote tourism by the government as well. Although we have difficulties, but still we need to allocate adequate resources at the federal level as well as at the provincial level to develop certain facilities, which are the basics, the infrastructure, utilities, then the investors will come. So our focus at the provincial level and the federal level should be on bringing in certain resources from the government or from the donors so that there are enough resources available to do the basics things and do the main marketing campaigns abroad. Marketing is a very, very expensive business, as many of you have highlighted in the forum, that we need to have a marketing strategy. To release a one quarter page ad, maybe in a New York Times or other such paper, you need millions of rupees. So when we look into that, we do not have that much of budget. So we need to have the support from the relevant stakeholders. And the human resource, as have been highlighted in this case, not for only Pakistan industry, and even we can export quality human resource to other countries. There's a huge population of young people available here. Instead, they go and do the labor work as an unskilled worker. We need to train them and tourism and hospitality services. And if they go abroad, they gain experience, they gain quality in their working, and they also send back foreign exchange to their country as well. So a lot of attention is required to build upon the human resource for the own needs in the country, as well as we can provide them opportunities of getting jobs abroad. So obviously, all this, again, what I see, we cannot put finger on maybe only one department or two departments. We need to bring a kind of a framework in which all the stakeholders work together. As I shown you in the first slide, on the morning of the first day, stakeholders collaboration is the key element. So we need to try that the federal level, the provincial level, at the local level, platforms are available where frequently stakeholders meet together and continue the dialogue process, identify their role and play their role accordingly. So many different departments, so many different agencies, so many different institutions, even individuals are important to play the role into that. So stakeholders engagement and the community engagement at the grassroots level is a key element. So I hope once we compile all this information, what we can try, we have the database of all the people who are attending this program. We share that document with all of you for maybe further input, finalize it, and prepare a policy document as the recommendation of this forum. And with the help of Minister Saab, that will go to the Prime Minister. Right now, at least there's a very strong platform available at the federal level as SIFC, headed by the Prime Minister and the Chief of Army Staff. And tourism luckily is the part of their overall economic growth agenda. So they are pushing quite a lot of things. I think it's the right time that if we put up the right recommendations, some of them must be implemented on a very short period of time where there's no much investment is required, such as the visa policy, regulatory regime, maybe the revival of the ministries. These are the things for which you do not need much funding. So I'm quite optimistic and I'm hopeful. I always remain a kind of a person who is never hopeless. Continue the working. Whatever small you can do in your own capacity, continue. So, what message for all of you is, never give up. Do not be frustrated. Frustration basically kills your skills and your conditions and all that. We know the challenges are there, but we need to meet all those challenges, and that can only be met if we are working together and we stay, with the stick, and ultimately we will be having good results. We are having good results all the way, smaller. We should celebrate whatever small we have achieved in this short period of time. And if we work together more collectively, inshallah, we can achieve much more than that. With this, I conclude my remarks, and I would also like to thank all the supporters, all the people who have been part of this important symposium from abroad and from Pakistan, different cities, different regions, all the provincial tourism department, our supporters who have been part of contributing in kind or in cash in supporting this event. They all need a big applause from all of you. Especially the young students from BIFA and the Gotham Institution who have been part of this in facilitating the whole process. So this is the process ongoing. So we have tried in this event to bring stakeholders even part of this program. Government obviously is there, but all little sports bits and pieces have been helpful to create this event, and will continue this tradition. And I want more people will be part even in the future events. And all the people who came all the way to exhibit their products, the small and large entrepreneurs and tour companies were there. I hope next time we organize a much bigger and much larger expo where public will be in much larger number invited in the winter time. We are planning in December. Hopefully that will be a kind of another opening for our tourism industry. So I would like to thank all of you. There are so many people, I can't take name of all those organizations, but I don't want to miss any of you because it's a great contribution from all the participant sides. So thank you very much, and keep continuing your efforts. Thank you very much.
Very dedicated Aftab Rana Sahab and international delegates and all the stakeholders who were here for both days. Many thanks for coming together and for bringing this tremendous platform to life. And we've been thinking about this with Aftab Sahab for some time. There were a bit of back and forth, but eventually everybody is here. And I don't want to repeat what Aftab Sahab and what most of you have already said, but in terms of the takeaways, there are just 3 points that I'd like to mention and report back to our management. And I also wanted to clarify that despite wanting to Our country director Naji and our operations manager Galius Droglis could not both come here in person. Naji had to travel, but you saw his video message being played. And Galius was supposed to be doing this right now instead of me, but unfortunately he arrived back from East Asia quite sick, so he's just recovering. So they share their regrets and also congratulations. So the 3 points are basically the need for this tourism industry of our country to first of all focus on systems, data collection, and the evolving digital platforms. All of you briefly touched upon that, but I wanted to emphasize that if you cannot measure anything, you are not going to be able to reform it. For us, having consistent data, not just for research, but also for processing and shaping up the policy is extremely critical. So this is one area where we think that not just PTDC, but all the provinces have a role to play. I know that especially KP, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province and Gilgit-Baltistan have advanced quite a bit on that, but it all needs to happen through one platform. And that speaks to your data on international arrivals as well. And domestic tourists, which by the way have been coming back and in numbers ever since COVID is over, and thankfully the phenomena has changed. The second point is the development of institutions and investment readiness of the country. And for that, several institutions have a role to play. There has to be one central platform. But once you go abroad and you get the attention of your delegates and potential investors, or when they are here, you have to make sure that they stay and they bring in the investments that they have promised to you. It is a very hard balance to get it right, but we have to now start moving towards that. All the institutions that were named here, that are present here, have a role to play. So we would also encourage you to integrate those institutions in whatever you're going to do when you reach out to the international platforms, and work on public-private partnerships. The province of Sindh got so many of those right. So we have lessons to be learned from there and to amplify. And tourism is one sector where countries like South Africa and even Europe have gone way ahead just using the public-private platforms. So why can't we do that? The third point which I wanted to mention was, and that I think everybody from the World Bank also mentioned, was the preparedness for climate change. It has come to us, it has happened. So what are we going to do to protect the tourism value chains, to protect the communities, and to also protect the natural assets that we spoke about yesterday at length, be it the walled city, be it our heritage sites, or the history that we have to showcase. And linked to that is the visitor experience of tourists. We don't want tourists to end up at certain locations and then them having to find out that there is a flood coming in, or there is a glow-off that just happened. So we have to now take everything forward in a very well coordinated fashion. There is a helpline 1422 already available. I'm sure, I know of that because we worked with KP government on that, and Punjab then also launched, and I think similar 24/7 helplines will need to be available, and this links back to my point on the digital platforms. There is so much happening in the field of travel and tourism, so I would encourage all the students of tourism that are here, including myself, to stay abreast of the latest happenings. You have international platforms, UNWTO, you have even development partners like World Bank, Asian Development Bank, and European Development Bank, and World Economic Forum putting out latest publications based on latest research. So make use of that. So we are on top of the game, and we continue to move forward. As they say, the only way is now upwards. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody, Aftab Rana Saab, Mukhtar Saab, and Namra, and everybody on the PTDC side, Government of Pakistan, and my own team from the World Bank, Umar Yar, Fatma Aftab, and Ali Shahid, and several others, and FACE, of of course, who were here, I think who were practically living at the auditorium for past many days. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.